Resident Evil 4 Remake is one of my most anticipated games of this year, and after playing this game for about 5 hours straight, I'm here to give you my first opinions on the game. And don't worry, I won't be talking about any spoilers in this video, so if you guys plan on picking up the game, you can just use this as my reference on if I think you should get the game or not. And besides, it's a remake of a 17-year-old game, so I'm assuming a lot of you guys already know what happens in the story anyway. So without further ado, let's just get into it. First of all, the combat in this game feels absolutely buttery smooth. You just feel like an absolute badass running around this village, just parrying anything that you please and just blasting villagers with no care in the world. Just remember not to be too carefree. I also absolutely adore the inventory management system in this game. It feels so nice to curate your inventory to be the cream of the crop for perfection. And you know what, I gotta give this game credit where credit's due because it's actually pretty difficult. I'm doing my first playthrough on standard difficulty, which is just basically medium, and I have had my fair share of deaths already, and I'm only 8 chapters into the game, which is 50% of the game. Now, one thing I feel like is very important to mention, because I know not a lot of people love when games are very heavy on their parry system, I will say it is very important in this game to be able to parry. So if you don't love games where parrying is a very big deal, maybe this is one that you shouldn't buy. And another gameplay mechanic that I think is just becoming a standard for all Resident Evil games now is the crafting mechanic, which I personally don't mind, and I actually enjoy the inclusion of the crafting system in the game, but I know it's not everyone's favorite thing in the world. Another mechanic that made its return in Resident Evil 4 Remake is knife durability, which in all honesty is 100% understandable in this game. You use your knife for almost every defensive option in the game. You get grabbed by an enemy, stab them with your knife to break free. You want to parry anything in the game, you have to use your knife to parry. You need to stealth kill enemies so that you don't alert everyone in the surrounding area, you gotta knife them. But don't worry, the game is incredibly generous with the amount of knives it gives you. I, so far in my playthrough, have not run into a situation where I'm ever out of knives completely. Exploring the map will allow you to find plenty of these knives, and occasionally enemies will drop them when you kill them. And while they may not be as powerful as your standard knife, they'll get the job done if your regular knife is out of durability. My knife! Good thing I have 2! And the last thing I want to talk about for gameplay are the changes they made to Ashley. They've now removed her health bar entirely, so you don't need to waste your heals anymore trying to keep her alive. But once she takes enough damage, she will go down and you'll have to walk over to her and hold a button to pick her up off the ground. And yes, this can be interrupted through enemies hitting you. You're not invincible while you're healing. And for you guys that played the original game, you might remember that there were 2 ways to use Ashley. You could either have her follow you or wait behind until you were ready for her to continue moving, which resulted in a lot of players just having Ashley wait at the beginning of a level. They would clear out all the enemies and then go back for her and bring her through the level without the fear that she would die. And Capcom didn't necessarily like that players were doing this because they felt like it defeated the purpose of the game. They felt like it made no sense for Leon to leave Ashley in the middle of nowhere while he killed everything and then came back for her, because Leon's whole mission is that he wants to save the president's daughter and protect her at all costs. And you can't really protect someone that you can't see. So they changed the game to have it be a little bit more realistic. Now both of your options involve Ashley following you. One of them has Ashley stick really close to you, and it's meant for when you're running from enemies and you're trying to just get away from a bad spot, so you have her stick really close to you while you guys just run for your life. And then for your other option, Ashley still follows you, but she keeps a very safe distance from you and kind of tries to stay stealthy and away from the enemies, but they can still attack her and down her if they see her, so you have to be careful and watch out for her and make sure nobody's on her. A really fun feature in this game that was not in the original game are the inclusion of side quests, and you can get some really cool stuff from the merchant with the rewards you get from these side quests. And speaking of the merchant, our king is back in full swagger and attire. And let me just say, I absolutely adore the merchant in this game. There's just something so charming about the merchant that I really just can't explain to you. You just gotta play the game and experience him.
Sweet dreams from afar, with a bullet straight through their heads.
Now this easily could be my favorite feature in the entire game. The merchant will give you discounts on stuff or allow you to buy something and he'll give you something for free in return. Now I've done research to try and find out if anyone has any answers on this, and I can't find any answers that tell me otherwise. So I'm just gonna assume every run will change what he gives you at a discounted price, which I think just gives the game so much more replayability. Now let me try and wrap all my thoughts up in a little thought bubble for you. I think the combat in this game is absolutely incredible and is so fun that I literally just want to keep playing the game just because I like shooting things. And you may not like it, but I think the parry system in this game is great. It just makes you feel so much cooler than you already feel, and it's just a very satisfying feature. And I think this game overall is incredible. I would easily recommend this to anyone who played the original Resident Evil 4, and if you haven't played Resident Evil 4 before, then this game is just a treat for you to play through. And even if you're not the biggest fan of Resident Evil games, this game could just sub as a great action game for you to play. So yeah, I just wanted to give you guys my initial thoughts on Resident Evil 4 Remake, and once I finish the the game, I'll be making a video similar to this video you're seeing on your screen right here. So until next time, bye!